How's it going, guys? This is ZDEyE here. So today I wanted to have a little bit of a discussion regarding of the very first day of the PlayStation 5 specifically. Now I cannot talk a little bit about this due to on a competitor side, the Series X, because they don't really have this kind of an issue. Yes, I'm talking about specifically the backwards compatibility. Let me tell you, since the title of this video as well, and I have mentioned that it's going to be very dry time for the PlayStation 5 on day one, especially since there are not that many exclusive games coming out, or really would want to pick up the PlayStation 5 for. Now, don't get me wrong, there are a few 2 games, especially maybe even 3 games that, on top of my head, that definitely are worth it. Maybe one of them is not so much. Godfall is that game that maybe not a lot of people are looking forward to it. But yes, 2 other games, I'm specifically talking about Spider-Man Miles Morales. Everyone would want to get this game. I'm one of them as well. I'm definitely looking forward to this game. But this is not a game. Now, issue with this is just that we don't know the release date, and a lot of specifications and the a bit of rumors as well says that it may be coming out on day one with the PlayStation 5 is of course Demon's Souls remake from Bluepoint. Now, I definitely needed to touch on after that sort of point. When you do pick up the console and you pick up, for example, these 2 games that I mentioned, and again, that's gonna be awesome time, but yet again, when you finish up with those games, there really isn't going to be much choice for you to do of what you, for example, why should you buy a PlayStation 5 to play these sort of games even though you can be playing it on a PC? And again, guys, for some odd reason, I'm sure a lot of people will misunderstand me on this point. I'm specifically talking about the positives for the PlayStation 5, okay? Because I'm worried that Sony, for some odd reason, are still not talking about the backwards compatibility. How will it work? Exactly. Now, we have seen from the event of the very first time that they showcased that Grand Theft Auto 5 in 2021 will be coming to PlayStation 5, and it's going to be enhanced and expanded. What does that mean? How will it be coming? Is it a remaster? What is it? Is it just a patch? Can we play it? Or do we have to buy the game all over again for $60? Or is it just an upgrade for a little bit additional fee that you have to pay for? Or is it completely for free? They don't specify these things. And knowing Rockstar and how they like to go about their games, I would not be surprised if we're gonna have to bloody purchase the game from the very first, initial price of the $60. And I don't I'm not willing to pay for Grand Theft Auto 5 completely from $60 because I know the game throughout, and I don't think they really would be putting too much effort and time into the game for me to make that kind of a purchase. And for example, if I would want to play this on PlayStation 5, we already know that a lot of the games are going to be compatible for the PlayStation 5 if you already have PlayStation 4 games. So why don't I just use my PlayStation 4 games, put it on my PlayStation 5, so to say, like that, and I play it just like that. Even though if Grand Theft Auto is not playable, well, let me play the rest of the other games as an example. Let's talk a little bit about Bloodborne. Bloodborne is an exclusive PlayStation game, PlayStation 4 game specifically, and yet the game is phenomenal, even though it has its own issues because of the PlayStation 4, bottleneck issues. The 30 FPS issue, for example. If it's going to be compatible with the PlayStation 5, and I'm sure it is, since it is exclusive too, I see more reasons for me actually be able to pick up the Bloodborne. Hopefully it's going to be free. Hopefully they just need a patch or whatever, and I will be able to play the game all over again with the 60 FPS though, because PlayStation 5 is a far more superior console to the PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 4 Pro. So why would there be much of an issue on that front? And personally, again, for me, I would just much rather play the game all over again as long as it's 60 FPS minimum. If the game only gonna be improvement and a little bit of enhancements and not really an FPS enhancements, why the hell would I bother playing the game again? But even though it's not entirely my point of view, because let me tell you, I still will be playing Bloodborne even if it's 30 FPS on a PlayStation 5. As long as it has a different list of trophies. I'm a trophy hunter. That's the reason. If Bloodborne comes out on the PlayStation 5 as an example, if enhanced or gets some kind of patch, and it has a separate list of trophies specifically for the PlayStation 5 that it ties in with, and you had to re-earn all the trophies again, but yet you keep your older PlayStation 4 trophies too, and it still gives you boost stats, I think that it gives much more rewarding feeling for a lot of players, and I'm one of them. I'm a trophy hunter guy, and I love to play games and going for the platinum trophies. I just love doing that. That's just my personal opinion, my personal reason. I'm sure a lot of you don't agree with me. A lot of you maybe simply want to replay the game and replay and to get that experience once again, because Bloodborne's a fantastic game. And of course, I'm talking about the DLC of this too, because it would not make much sense why Bloodborne would come out, but the DLC would not be included. I don't know. It's just an opinion, even though I really am hoping that it would come out as a backwards compatibility or, come to the PlayStation 5. It's the same thing I'm talking about, I would like to talk about anyway, is Grand Theft Auto 4. Grand Theft Auto 4 came out in 2008, brilliant game in my personal opinion. I love that game, it's perhaps my favorite game of all time. And we never seen a day and age for it to be coming out on the PlayStation 4 as a backwards compatibility. So, PlayStation 5, maybe? Could you give us an option? Can you give us an opportunity? I understand the PlayStation 4 archetype isn't exactly very friendly for the developers to be implementing it into the PlayStation 4 or the PlayStation 5, since PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 has a similar archetype, and yet maybe this will be a possibility for them to actually put a little bit of resources. Let us at least enjoy the game, download it. Don't put it as a streaming, like on PlayStation Now, like you can actually stream the older games, because I want to play my Grand Theft Auto 4 as an example on 60 FPS. And the same thing for the PlayStation, Grand Theft Auto 5, I want to play on my PlayStation 5 60 FPS. What did they mean by enhanced and expanded? What does expanded mean? Enhanced? Well, enhanced, the only thing I know that definitely going to be improving the resolution. Enhanced can be also implemented as a 60 FPS for the PlayStation 5 on consoles anyway, on a new gen consoles. But I just want to play my games on 60 FPS because it gives me already big value of actually replaying those games and coming back to them again. But they did not specify that. We're away for like maybe 4 months, right? We're about to hit August, my apologies, and yet we don't know anything regarding it. Now, there are speculated rumors and saying that there's something could be going on the 6th of August, that there will be State of Play, and that's when we're going to find out the information for the pre-orders, the date of the PlayStation 5, and also their price point. Now, but that's not exactly the main point what I want to see in these games, in this console, sorry. Because we already know what kind of price point the PlayStation 5 will be on. PlayStation 5 will be around $500, around a little bit less, a little bit more, $400, maybe maximum $600. And of course we have to understand that there's going to be a digital edition for the PlayStation 5. Well, that's going to be less with the value. So it's going to be reduced with $50 or maybe up to $100. That depends, of course, how Sony would like to go about that. The release date of that console, well, it's presumed that it's going to be coming out around November. October the earliest, December's the latest. I kind of really doubt it will come out in December though. I'll say October or November. November is most likely though. Because we have seen plenty time and time again that the PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, they all came out in November. And yet, I really hope, these games that are going to be compatible as a backwards compatibility older games, because this actually gives us time to invest into these games so we can wait until the brand new releases do come, right? For example, Hitman 3 is coming out in January, I believe it was end of January, and there's plenty more games to come out, will be coming out, like Resident Evil, the next Village, also Horizon, the sequel coming out for it as well, the Forbidden West. Now, there are plenty of games, but we have to wait for these games, and you don't want to you don't want to be drawing up the console releases so quickly already. Now, again, yes, completely, I understand. Like, for example, Assassin's Creed Valhalla or Watch Dogs Legion, or plenty of other games that will be coming out on Xbox and PlayStation 5 as well, and the older gen consoles too, and new gen consoles too. Like, yes, you can play all those games pretty much on the PlayStation 5. I'm specifically talking about the exclusives. I'm specifically talking about that, guys. Yet again, that's just my personal view. It's going to be a dry time, I shouldn't say month, but dry time, because the new release of the consoles is pretty normal. We had the same thing on a PlayStation 3, we had the same thing on a PlayStation 4. And yes, if you want to talk about a competition, Xbox is no different. Xbox One and Xbox 360, there was not much of a difference in that term. And if they give us a clarification for backwards compatibility and how exactly it will work and what kind of implementations that they are going to go for, is it going to be remastered? You have to rebuy the game completely from the scratch, pay $60 for it, pay a little bit, pay $40, or maybe if you do have the console, if you do have the game as a disc version or a digital version, you have to pay for $10 extra, just like it was for the PlayStation 3 to the PlayStation 4, and then you can play the games on your PlayStation 4, or would it just be as simple as like a free patch? You just need to patch the game and it will be completely enhanced. That would be a much better choice. It would only signifies as a consumer friendliness for the PlayStation and Sony. And if they do that, now we do know, as an example, right? We do know that Sony is going to be making these backwards compatibilities with plenty of thousands of games, and we already knew that the Grand Theft Auto 5 is one of those. Grand Theft Auto 5 is going to be perhaps number 1, number 2, or 3 of the top of the games that definitely will be getting its compatibility for the PlayStation 5. It's inevitable. We already knew that it will be coming, and Rockstar like to milk their products, their money, and stuff like that, so they would get more revenue out of it. Because look, we didn't even get a DLC or an expansion for its story mode, because the online is getting them so much revenue. Why should they? It makes sense. Red Dead Redemption 2, look at this. They didn't confirm for the Red Dead Redemption 2 that it will be getting a PlayStation 5 re-release, so to say, right? No, they went way back to the Grand Theft Auto 5, even though that's an older game, because the revenue on the Grand Theft Auto 5 gets for them far more than Red Dead Redemption 2. It's just a fact. Anyway, perhaps I shouldn't say it's a fact, because I'm not obviously showing you the sales figures, but whatever. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Tell me down in the comments, what do you think of my mindset? Is it understandable? Like, do you agree? Do you disagree? Be sure to let me know down in the comments. Like and subscribe. See you guys all later, and as always, have a wonderful day.